About the operation of two of Ford Motor Company's top-selling models prompts the company to make some changes. Troubleshooter Howard Ain investigates a problem that goes back 3 years and involves transmissions.
This concerns the 2012, 13, and 14 Ford Focus and the Ford Fiesta. It all has to do with their power shift transmission. A Newport woman tells me she and two family members all bought the 2014 Ford Focus. She says they've all had problems with the transmission. Another local owner, Cheryl Pemberton of Florence, had her transmission and clutch replaced last year, but she says her problems continue.
I have not met one person yet who has a 12, 13, or 14 that is not having the exact same issue.
As she described it to her dealer, the problem is the car will sputter and jerk and make grinding noises. When it jerks very hard, she says it can be scary, too much for her young daughter.
Initially, I was going to give this to her when she turned 16. I wouldn't give this to her.
Really?
I would not give this to my daughter. No way.
In December, Ford replaced her transmission and clutch, but now she says the clutch has to be replaced again.
I'm not anti-Ford at all. We've always had Ford cars forever, my whole family. But this clutch and transmission that they have now clearly doesn't work.
So I went to ASE certified master technician Matt Overbeck.
This particular transmission is basically a completely manual transmission that is being controlled electronically by a computer.
Overbeck says the system used by Ford is similar to that used by Volkswagen several years ago, only Ford's is slightly different, all in an attempt to get better gas mileage.
It takes a little bit of getting used to the person who's driving. I mean, Ford claims up to a 10% increase in fuel economy, and in these days, that's a significant amount of improvement.
When they did the diagnostics on it, they said that there's a certain number that once it gets to a certain number, then it's not safe to drive. My car is not at that number, so it's still safe to drive.
I tried contacting the spokesperson for Ford Motor Company, both by phone and online, but have not heard back. But Tom Shacklighter, service manager for a local Ford dealership, tells me drivers need to be educated to the fact they're really driving a vehicle with a manual transmission, so some noises and hesitation can be expected. In the meantime, he says Ford is constantly updating the software on its transmission control module to try to fix these concerns. The company also just redesigned the clutch disc itself and hopes all these changes will put an end to the repeated repairs needed by Pemberton and others. In the meantime, Ford has extended the warranty to 7 years or 100,000 miles on these vehicles. Howard Ain, Local 12 Troubleshooter.
So at this point, there's been no recall, and Ford has been repairing the transmissions as problems come up. Howard says if you drive one of these vehicles and you're having these issues, contact your dealer.